Hello and welcome to the Girl That Went For It podcast. I'm your host, Johanna Scholz, also known as Johanna Liana on Instagram, and author of Believe in Life, How to Dance in the Rain. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Johanna_Liana, for daily content. And now enjoy this episode. Today we're going to talk about getting back on track, leaving your lazy girl era. I gotta be honest with you guys, winter in New Zealand really made me slow down, which is not a bad thing, but it's been really hard for me to stay on track and stay motivated. I don't know why, but I'm usually a really motivated person and I have my schedule and I like to get things done, but honestly, winter just really, maybe I use this as an excuse. Maybe I'm just having a little down phase, which is totally fine. We all have that and that's okay. And today I'm just going to share some tips how to get out of that. On this note, I also want to say how much I love the climate in Hawke's Bay. Winter is nothing compared to German winter. I think our coldest days, it can get quite cold, but 10 degrees. I feel like it feels colder here somehow. But anyway, nothing compared to a German winter. But what I want to say here is I really, really, really miss Christmas in winter. I know that some places do a July Christmas or mid-year. I don't even know how they call it. But I feel like having Christmas in winter is just something to look forward to, and then you slow down, you have the time between the years. But here, Christmas obviously is in summer, and yes, you also slow down, but it's just so different. So I really miss having Christmas in winter. Something is missing here in winter, and it's just a blip, it's winter, and then it is spring and summer, I don't know how to explain it. It's not too bad, but I just really feel I miss something in winter, even the decoration when it's dark outside. I love my life here. I love December, January and summer, having New Year's in summer. Yeah, I just miss something in winter, something to look forward to, something to get ready for. I don't know, I feel with Christmas in Germany, I always felt it was getting ready for Christmas, getting ready for the slow season. Maybe my body is just getting ready for a slow season, but there's nothing coming. I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about how to get back on track in this episode. So this is for anyone who feels they lost a bit of focus. Maybe for those who feel oh my gosh, where did the last 6 months, where did the year go? Where did 2024 go? This is for anyone who feels like that. And I could probably say that maybe 70-80% of us think that. So also, again, you're not alone, and let's get back on track. So first thing we're gonna do is ask ourselves, what's been happening? What have I prioritized over the last month or months? What did I put my focus and energy on? So I feel I had a few days, a few weeks where I didn't really have a proper routine, and I totally know I myself need a routine. And so reflecting on what's been happening for me was okay, I didn't have a proper routine. I didn't work out as much as I used to, which again also feel for me has to do with then feeling motivated, feeling set up for the day. So my reflection is, I haven't had a proper routine. I didn't work out as much as I want to. I made a lot of time for friends, which is amazing, which is nothing wrong with that. But I feel for me, reflecting on that, I shouldn't pack my week too full, because I feel that really put me off track with my goals and what I want to achieve. And then another thing that I think has been happening is I hit the snooze button on my phone, on my alarm, and I am getting up later than I used to. Again, I thought there's nothing wrong with that. I still get up before 8, but I usually the morning hours, have my coffee at 7 and do some journaling and then start my day, my work or what I have planned for the day around 8. But now that I'm getting up maybe 7:30, have a shower, then I have my coffee by 8. It's all like an hour later, and I feel like that's a really slow start to my day. And today, actually, I got up early, went to the gym, and was home by, I think, 8:30 and had my gym done. And I felt like so ready for the day, so motivated. But anyway, I want to talk first about reflecting on what's been happening. So for me, I'm just going to repeat it again. For me, it was no proper routine, not working out regularly, hitting the snooze button and making a time for friends, or catching up more with friends during the week than I used to. And then the next question you want to ask yourself is, why is this happening? So why is it happening that I don't have a proper routine? I kind of said it as well, like it's because I'm hitting the snooze button, because it's still dark outside, so cold in our room, so I just want to stay in bed. So that's why it's happening. But I also feel like I haven't set myself a routine. I haven't planned out my days properly. So that's probably also why this is happening, why I am just a little bit slower in this season, because I haven't really planned out my days like I used to. Just reflecting on that, I'm actually realizing right now I haven't planned out my days like I used to, which would just keep me going. And I actually enjoyed this at the start of this season, of the slow season. I was like, I've been so organized over the past few years. I'm just going to go with the flow, which I love and nothing wrong with it. But I'm just now at the point where I'm like, okay, I want to get back on track. So why is this happening? I didn't plan out my days properly. And I think also the reason why it's happening that I caught up with lots of friends, which is amazing, but I feel like I often feel this guilt. Can we just talk about this? And like the guilt of not being able to make time for friends, or I feel guilty when I have to cancel last minute. I feel like, I don't know why this is coming up. This is me literally reflecting on my own thoughts right now, because I'm usually really good with, I would say that's why I'm doing this right now. I'm really good with figuring out what's wrong and why am I thinking that. So there's this guilt of not being able to catch up with that many people. Like, I mean, we're not in high school anymore, right? We're not going to school and see everyone every day. So that's so different than now being an adult and having everyone has different schedules, and you try to squeeze people in your days. And I actually realized I'm not getting as much done when I catch up with people, which like you have like pro and cons. Like I love catching up with my friends, and then I feel guilty if I can't because I'm focusing on my goals. But here I want to say communication is key. I have my friend, for example, Hannah. We can talk about this. Like we can say, hey, I'm in a really busy season right now. I want to get things sorted. I want to work on my goals. When we say that, like we respect that and we understand like how busy life gets and that you can't always make time for friends. Of course, when there's something happening or something, I leave my things and I'm like there for my friends. But sometimes you just have to put yourself first in your goals, and it's totally fine. And I feel like just knowing that this like guilt is there, just kind of, how do you say, like declutter guilt and just actually realizing it's okay. It's okay not to always squeeze your friends in if it doesn't feel good, if you have other things on your mind or things you want to achieve. But as I said as well, like I didn't really realize that because I really enjoyed spending time with my friends and being in this season. But now that I said I want to get back on track, I have to just reflect a little bit on, okay, what do I want to do different? I want to plan out my days. I want to get back into a routine and into my gymming routine. I'm going to say, okay, I do like 2 catch-ups maximum a weekend with friends, so I can focus on what I want to get done. Again, this doesn't have to be forever. This can be for the next month. I'm prioritizing this, and then after that I catch up with friends 3 times a week, which I feel like is a lot as an adult life. I don't know. I think there's nothing wrong with, and I love that my friends understand that. Sometimes I don't see them for weeks and then we catch up and it was like we saw each other yesterday. So that's basically already the next step that I'm talking about is what do you want to happen? So for me, I want to get back into planning my days out. Like, what am I doing each day? Getting back into a routine, letting my friends maybe even know like, hey, I'm like starting this new season of my life where I really want to focus on getting things done. So I can't really make time, or I can, but I don't really want to make time for certain things because I would love to focus on these things. And I feel like I said, communication is just key, and everyone will understand if you want to work on things for your goal and you can just let them know, hey, I'm just in this busy phase right now, or not busy phase because it doesn't mean busy phase. I'm more in this prioritizing phase right now where I want to prioritize getting back on track in a routine. And I feel like catching up right now could kind of put me off this routine. Nothing against you, my friend, I love you, but I just want to get back into my routine. And I'm pretty sure every friend will understand. Like, I'm so glad that my friends understand if I tell them, hey, I just want to get back on track and this is my focus at the moment and I see you in a month's time. But I'm always here if you need to chat, if there's anything. Like, obviously I'm still here, but I just want to get into focus mode or something like that. I feel like communication, like I said, is always key. So here again, the 3 questions you have to ask yourself if you want to get back on track. So number 1 is, what's been happening? Like, what have you been focusing on? How has your last months looked like? How have they looked like? Just reflect on that. The second step is, why is this happening? Why are your days looking like this? Your weeks looking like this? And the third step is, what do you want to happen? How do you want to move on from here? You now know your current situation and what's been happening, what you've been doing, but how do you want to move on from here? What's gonna change? And once you're clear on that, you can start shifting things. You can start living this new reality, this new season, this productive season. I'm going to share some tips next, like how to stay productive. And number one tip for me always, if I'm in my office and it is a mess, so it's the spare room where I also sometimes film videos and just have some clothes maybe on the spare bed, like sometimes the room is a mess. And when the room is a mess, I just can't focus. Even if I stare at my screen, somehow this mess is still distracting me. So number one tip is to clean up your room or office or wherever you are that you try to get things done. Once I tidy it up, I feel like already so much more productive and clearer and ready to go. The second tip, and I really have to, how do you say this in English? In German you would say grab my own nose. I don't know if you say this like that in English. Anyway, not hitting the snooze button. Honestly, it is so bad because once you hit the snooze button, you fall in this little sleep and it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's probably something I can look up online. But anyway, you all know it probably when you hit the snooze button for like 7 or 10 minutes and you fall asleep again. It's even worse to get up then. I actually realized I sleep so much better. I sleep through the night when Jules is not next to me. I'm not sure because I think he moves and then I wake up and then when I wake up, I'm like, okay, I know I have to pee and I go to the toilet and then I go back to sleep. So it's kind of interrupting my sleep. But when I am by myself, I literally sleep through the night and then I am waking up with my own body clock and that's usually around 7. And I know when I wake up and I'm like, oh, and then I check the time like, okay, I should get up now. You know, like having my own body clock really is the best way, I think, for me to just get up. Sometimes I wake up before my alarm, which is rare. Like, let's say when Jules is next to me, I usually sleep until my alarm. I've been woken up during the night or woke up and then I just sleep until my alarm goes off. But sometimes when I wake up before my alarm goes off, I'm actually like starting to get conscious again, like waking up and I'm like, okay, maybe I should just get up now because if I turn around, my alarm's going to go off soon anyway. And then, you know, when you start thinking about it, you can't sleep anyway. But I feel like the best way is actually when you have your own alarm clock, like your body clock. and that's waking you up. But anyway, tip is no snooze button, okay? Then another tip is to set realistic goals. So for example, when I say for me, I want to plan out my days, I want to get into a routine, I want to plan out what I'm doing, I have to keep it realistic and not too overwhelming, because otherwise I just want to go back to bed and just snuggle up and don't do anything. So set realistic goals for whatever it is that you want to achieve. Don't make them too big. Don't make them too stressful for you. Set realistic goals. Another realistic goal, for example, with me going back into a gym routine, I find it so hard to go in when it's so cold in the morning, but I set myself a realistic goal. So I say Monday mornings and Wednesday mornings I go to the gym. I know that Friday mornings a friend comes over for a workout, so that's a realistic goal for me, because when my friend comes over, I already have okay, we really have to work out because she's coming over, which is great. That's why we do it. So we both do it. But the other two, it's doable. I can do 2 times a week that I go to the gym. And this is from someone, if you've been following me for a long time, I always loved working out. And I've been a gym freak in the past, and I still love it. But I feel like I've done it so much that I needed a bit of a change. So earlier this year I did CrossFit, and now I'm getting back into the gym routine, and I also play football. So I have football training once a week, and then I have my game on Sunday. So that's actually then 2 times gym, 1 workout, then with a friend. So 3 times, let's say, gym, football training plus football game. That's a lot for my body. So yeah, which brings us to the next point. So another productive tip is to allow yourself to rest. Allow yourself to have rest days when it's about gym, for example, but also with working on your goals, or allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to do something that doesn't have to do anything with achieving and being productive. So in order to be productive, you also have to allow yourself to have rest days, to not do anything, to just chill, because then you will feel you don't, what I want to say, you don't have to be productive all the time. Then the other thing is as well, figure out when are you most productive. So for me, I'm most productive in the morning. So I do a few hours where I work on my goal or whatever I want to get done that day. Maybe the thing that I would probably put off, I get that done first when I'm most productive. And my most productive time, like I said, is in the morning. So figure out for you, when is your most productive time. I think another thing that's really helpful is to make a Pinterest board for your season that you're in, because I'm right now, it's winter in New Zealand. I'm obviously not the same person, or not the same, how do I say this? I am obviously the same person, but you know how with every season, summer, autumn, winter, and spring, you have pictures in your head. I have for certain months certain pictures in my head, and that's the same about myself. My summer me, for example, is getting up super early, but earlier than my winter me, and she goes for a walk, she embraces the sunshine, gets some vitamin D, and she goes to the beach. She also maybe goes for runs because it's warm outside. That's the summer version of me. And then I feel my winter version is more I'm still getting up, trying to get up early, maybe a bit later than in summer, but I start my day with a cup of coffee. I start my day with journaling, meditation, and then I go to the gym. And my winter me also likes to read a book and have a cup of tea, and works on her vision board, creates a mind map with what she wants to achieve. And I don't know how to explain this, but my winter me is different than my summer me, but still productive in a different way. So I just feel it helps so much to create Pinterest boards, vision boards for every season, winter, snuggled up, but still productive, maybe laptop in bed, cup of tea and laptop in bed, or snuggled up on the couch kind of vibes, writing, working on things, the fire's going, being productive in that era, in that season. And then my summer me has my Pinterest board has the beach, having my book on the beach, having my notebook on the beach, or just outside in the sunshine, having like a iced coffee somewhere at a cafe and working from a cafe, going for walks in the morning, with my sunnies on. I don't know, I'm really like a visual person, as you can tell, but really having these Pinterest boards of the season of that you're in can really help you to stay motivated and to just have a vision of how you want your life to look like in this season, because obviously it cannot look like the summer version because it is maybe raining a lot or it is super cold outside, so you don't want to sit outside with a coffee and stuff, you know what I mean? So you kind of want to adapt it to each season. So yeah, just like have a mood board that's realistic for each season of your life. I want to share some tips that I received on my Instagram. I think it's 2 or 3 that I want to share that I picked out that are different to what I already said. So one was from Louisa, and she said that ask yourself, a year from now, what would I wish I had started doing today? I think that is such a good question to get back on track, to be productive. Like, ask yourself, a year from now, how do I want my life to look like? What would my future me be so thankful for I started doing this now? Maybe you want to write that one down. A year from now, what would I wish I had started today? What had I wished I had started today? I don't know the right grammar there, but you know what I mean. And the next one was from Mara. She said, doing nothing for at least a week, just seize the day. Then you want to be super organized and structured with your tasks afterwards. I think that's a really good way too, or like I said earlier, allow yourself to rest. So don't overdo it. Allow yourself to rest so then you can recharge and the next day you feel like, I want to get this done. So yeah, these are the getting back on track tips. I hope this helped you. I want to say here, it all starts with your mindset. It literally is a mind game. Being organized, getting out of the lazy girl era or getting back on track. There's nothing wrong with having a lazy day. There's nothing wrong with slowing down. Like I literally said to you in one of the episodes, my word for this year is to slow down, which I've done and which I love. But I'm now at this stage where I'm like, I want to get back on track. And it's not that I wasn't on track. It was just that I was in a different season, and I acknowledge that and I reflect on that and I figure out, okay, why do I feel maybe I want to change something? Like, what has been happening? Why has this been happening? What do I want to happen in the future? It's just like having this time to reflect on, okay, this is how life looks. How do I want it to look? So it's all mind game. And I just want to mention here, for those who want to crack their mindset, I created the Mindset Code with 2 of my best-selling online courses, the Aligned Life Mastery plus Mindful Evolution in one course, the Mindset Code. So if you want to crack your Mindset Code, you can find the link below and start today. You have heaps of modules to work through, more details below. I'm not going to bother you with talking about this now because I feel like there was so much input in this episode, and I'm just saying, if you want to continue on this journey, if you want to invest in your mindset, invest in your life and how you want to live your life, down below you can find the Mindset Code, and I can't wait to hear from you. If this episode helped you, I would really appreciate a 5-star review to help others to find this podcast. And if you feel like sharing this episode with anyone who might want to get back on track or you feel like could benefit from this, feel free to share it. Thank you so much for tuning in today.